Hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends and educational partners, HoneyBook. HoneyBook is an amazing service for creatives, visionaries, coaches, and business owners just like us. And the best part about HoneyBook, they're super easy to use, they're so super affordable, and they even come with a contract template specified to the type of industry that we're in that we're free to use and send to our clients. So basically what HoneyBook does is it helps automate the onboarding process. So I use this process for any one-on-one clients. I use this process for my mastermind clients. I use this process for events. This is something I use for everything other than like a self-study course. Anything that I want them to be able to have a payment plan for, and also to, if there's any kind of contractual agreement. So a lot of times you'll want somebody to sign a contract for your terms of use, your terms and conditions, and the terms of your agreement with one another. So this makes it super easy. So when you get somebody to sign up with you and they're like, heck yeah, I'm all in. Where do I sign up? Where do I start? You just get their email address, you enter in their custom program, or you can save a template if you have one that's always the same price, always the same contract. And you just basically fill in their information, fill in the price, create their custom payment plan if they are paying in full or if they're paying weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, like on specified dates, whatever that looks like for that particular client. You send it over once, and what it does is it sends them a proposal so they can see everything beautifully lined out. Then they can sign the contract and make their first payment. It's so simple. They can do it from their email box or from their phone in a matter of moments. And then everything is good to go. You're in compliance. You're all, ready to go with your contract, and everything is started right away. You can also set up follow-up emails. You can also set up what they call brochures, and you make beautiful introductions to your programs, to your courses, and to whatever it is that you have to offer. And these can be customized in so many different ways so that they are on brand with you. And the cool thing about HoneyBook is they have offered all of you guys 50% off for the entire first year. So this is one of the best bargains I think I've ever encountered. So to get this, you can actually start with a free trial, no credit card required, which I love. And but trust me, you'll love HoneyBook. So then if you're ready to get started, you just sign up. So if you want to get that 50% off, make sure you use our code. It's in the show notes, but it's share.honeybook.com/Amie, AMIE 935. So just click back over into the show notes if you want that, or it is share.honeybook.com/Amie 935, and that will secure your 50% off an already amazing low price for the entire first year of your subscription. I hope that you guys have a wonderful experience with HoneyBook. I know that I have. It's been a staple of my business, and it's been such a joy to use.
All right, everybody. I have my friend Carina Groombridge here today, and she's going to take us on her journey, and it's going to be a fun ride, so fasten your seatbelts. We're going to dive in. She is a mindset and success coach, and she's got a really, really great free gift for us, too. So be sure you stay to the end so you can hear all about that, and then swipe up on your phone if you're listening on your phone so you can get the direct link to that. So Carina, she's coming to us, you guys, from Canada today. So tell us a little bit about how you got started as an entrepreneur and what led you down this path.
Oh, that is such a good question. But first, thank you, Amie, so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. So I started off my entrepreneur journey. Well, first off, I never, ever, ever thought I would be an entrepreneur. Like this was the furthest thought from my head. So, for years in the corporate world, I was telling myself, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I just don't know. I wasn't loving what I was doing, but I didn't know what that other thing was. And then I had kids. And then, of course, that totally shifted my perspective on, what do I want to be doing for my career and for my work life? Because I do enjoy work, but I wasn't really loving what I was doing. So I just started digging and searching and came across the coaching world and was kind of like, I could do that. Like it kind of met all of my criteria. It really fit well with me. And my business has gone through a few different iterations, but I finally kind of landed on mindset and success coaching, specifically for other women who want to grow their businesses. And that kind of was like my light bulb moment of like, yes, like this is it. This is what I'm passionate about. So it unfortunately took having kids to figure this out, but that's okay. I will take it. Like no one's journey is ever straight, I don't think. Actually, if there is anybody out there, I would love to talk to you because nobody really has that straight and narrow path. But yeah, so that's kind of the short version of how I kind of got to where I am now. And now I'm going and helping other moms grow their businesses, which is fantastic and so rewarding. So I'm really enjoying that.
Yay. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of women, probably more women than men, and I know this is probably not, I don't have the statistics on this by any means. They get that mom guilt when it's like, I have to go back to work. And like, luckily for you guys in Canada, you guys have a year for maternity leave. Whereas in some of the states, like in California, we get 3 months. But in some states, it's 0 days.
I find that absolutely insane. And like, right. I am very thankful because I was aware of this going in. So I was very thankful and grateful. I got to spend a whole year with my kids. And I couldn't imagine, handing them off with like babies. Like 3 months they're teeny tiny. That's insane. So, I mean, I had the full year and I'm so grateful for it. But I know a lot of moms, I'm sure that guilt level is even more when you're like, the kid can't sit up yet. Like, come on. Right.
Or especially if it's like you go back after 2 days or 2 weeks or whatever. It's like, oh man, like, I don't know. I do like the full on attachment parenting. So like it just was hard for me, but that's, I think, the story for so many women that they can't wrap their brain around leaving their tiny babies with somebody else. Or for some women that I've spoken to, it was costing them more in childcare than they were bringing in their wages.
It's so true. And like in that case, it's a no-brainer, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to stay with my kids now. What else can I do to have a side hustle or whatever you want to call it? Right. So I totally agree. Yeah.
So I find that when women are starting out, especially, so, both of us work primarily with moms, but when they're starting out, a lot of times there are obstacles, whether it's an unsupportive family member, unsupportive friends, unsupportive spouse, bullies on Facebook, whatever. Did you experience any kind of obstacles as you got started when you were like, hey, I'm going to do this thing and I'm super excited about it? And then like, whoa, wait, what?
Oh my gosh. Of course. First of all, I think everybody has their own obstacles. And for me, so many of them were internal. So my husband is so sweet and so supportive. And he kind of saw what life could be like with me being home more and, having that time on maternity leave. Like the house was clean, the dishes were done, like all these fun things. Not to say that if I have a business that is going to be my top priority, it won't be, but he was still super supportive of the idea of me going off and doing my own thing. So that, I guess, I had the support there, but internally, I had always told myself like, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care what other people think and this and that. And then I was finding myself totally caring what other people thought. So I was just sitting there going like, oh God, why is this so terrifying? To like put it out there to be like, hey, friends and family, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not there yet, but this is my goal. And,
Right.
and honestly, everyone was so supportive and so like, good on you, Carina. Like, you can do it. Can't wait for like to hear about, your success and this and that. And I was really thankful for that. But it was just like, it was all inside me, inside my head going like, oh, what are people going to think? Like, can I really post this? Can I do that? And so it was a very kind of slow journey to go and build my business and like, get all my ducks in a row, so to speak, because just things kept coming up in my head, like, well, can I do it? Like that, on the fence, like, can I really make this work? I don't know. Other people have. And so, I mean, there's so many obstacles, and I find at every different phase, there's a new, there's a good phrase, a good saying for it. New level, new devil, I think is a good one. So it's so true. And at every point, you have to figure out, okay, what's that thing holding you back? And then figure out how you can overcome it and get to that next step.
Absolutely. And I do think that people have self-doubt because we're not taught to lead with ourselves. We're not taught to put ourselves out there, especially women, that we're taught, okay, you go to college, you get a job, you muster through and you collect your paycheck and then you retire. And that's what you do for your whole entire life. And you get to do that. But now, we've got all these resources, we've got all this like newfound bravery, and there's a fly in my studio here and it's driving me crazy. If you hear a big smack, that's me getting the fly, just to warn all the listeners. But I feel like, some women, they, obviously there's a saying that we're our own worst critics, and it's the absolute truth. And one of the things that we talked about at my last VIP weekend is talking to yourself instead of being like, oh, I can't believe you did that, like, or, beating yourself up, is talk to yourself like you would talk to a 2-year-old.
Yes, I love that. That's a good one.
Because how would you talk to a 2-year-old if they messed something up, or if they fell down, or if they spilled their paint? You'd be like, it's okay, honey. Let's just keep trying, or when they're riding their bikes or when they're learning to walk, it's like you always fall down before you can really master it. So I feel like that's like the best way, but it's hard. It's really hard to remind yourself, like you have to be very conscious of, okay, I actually have to like stop, rephrase. How would I talk to a 2-year-old? How would I talk, how would I talk to a little kid, and go back in that way? And it's effort. It's a lot of effort.
It's basically a training process, like, because I focus mainly on mindset, which is obviously everything that's going on in your head. And it's something that you have to work on every single day. And it's not, if it doesn't come naturally to you, that's okay. That's normal, but you can change it. Right. And it's something that I find is so important to remember, just to like, make it a daily habit to make sure you catch those thoughts and flip them into something that is way more constructive than you beating yourself up over, God knows what.
Yes, absolutely. And when we get going and we start to get momentum, there's going to be things that come up, whether it's, that inner person, your inner mean girl, I like to say, coming up, and you have to tell her just, hey, you sit down, shut up. You don't get to have a say here, or it can be, they always say like, oh, you finally made it when you have a hater, like, or you get a troll on one of your Facebook lives or something like that. And in a way it's kind of like, all right, but they're still a little bit off-putting. You know what I mean? So it's hard.
True.
It's hard to kind of keep yourself positive, because sometimes, a bad review or somebody hopping on your live and saying something inappropriate, it can throw you off your game, like off your thought process. And you're like, wait, what? Like, whoa, where did you come from? Who the hell are you?
It's so true. But I find the stronger you are mentally, the easier you can let it go. Not to say it won't affect you, right, but like the stronger that you make yourself, the easier it'll be to be like, that's okay. Like they can have their opinion. They're not going to like me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like not everybody's going to like you, or not everyone's going to like me. Like, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Cause you want to repel the people that that aren't your ideal clients, right?
Agree. Yes. Yes. And that's one of the things like that I tell people too, is like for my mastermind and for my one-on-one clients, the reason we're getting on a call is not for you to see if you want to work with me. It's so I can see if I want to spend the next 6 months with you. And that's kind of the approach that I teach my clients too, because, if you've ever had a not ideal client, then you totally understand that you're like, dang, I wish I would have gotten a little more information on this person before,
exactly,
before you have to muster through.
I couldn't agree more. It's definitely a two-way process when you're going and interviewing and having discovery calls. You want to make sure that person is just as good for you as you are for them. Right. Otherwise, it's not going to work out for anybody.
Yeah, and I feel like too, and you might notice this with your clients as well, is a lot of times we get in that mindset of, well, I know I can help everybody, and I know that this and this, but they also aren't willing to be like, all right, look, I'm not the coach for you. I totally am like, yeah, you're going to need to call somebody else. If I know it's not going to be a good fit, and I tell them straight up, hey, I'm always just going to shoot it to you straight. If I can't help you, I'm happy to refer you on to somebody who I think that can. But knowing that, you know that going into that call, and they know because you set the expectation, makes it easier.
Yes. And I know, I would totally appreciate that as a client. You want to hear, or a potential client, you want to hear, if the coach doesn't think you're a good fit, then you're probably not a good fit. So yes, I love that approach. It's very good.
Even if you think that you can help them, but they're not ready for, say a higher level mastermind, they're still working on figuring out, both ends of a sales funnel. That's maybe something at a lower end instead of a high end mastermind. And you can tell them look, this program isn't for you. And that I think people really do appreciate when they're like, oh, you want to sell me something that's a fraction of the price instead of this much money? You're like, yeah, you're not ready for that yet. We'll get you there, but you're not ready.
So true.
So tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us a little bit about how you kind of juggle your day and work with your clients and, do all the mom stuff.
Oh, yes, all the mom stuff. So right now I'm still actually in corporate. So I have a lot of juggling to do because there's corporate, there's my family, and then there's growing the business, taking care of clients, and all of those things up in the air. So really what my, I guess, weeks look like is now I've gotten into the habit of getting up early to go and do some stuff for me and my business and really get my head kind of in the game, which I never thought I would be a morning person before. Never, ever. But that is the only time in my house where everything is it's silent. Everyone is peaceful. It's wonderful. And after that, I get up, go to work, take care of the kids, get everybody ready. And I usually take calls with clients either in the evenings or on the weekends, which is kind of my time to go and work on the business or I guess whatever else needs to be done. So it's a quick glimpse as to what life looks like right now, but I'm scaling to work towards getting rid of corporate full-time so I can be more present, I guess, and available for my clients and then grow from there. So
nice. I need to work on getting into the morning routine thing. I'm gonna have to get NLP for that.
You know what? It's on obviously I'm going to say this, but it's all in your head, right?
It is.
That whole oh, I don't want to get up in the morning. But I've been doing it consistently for months now. And the other day, I think one of my kids hit my alarm clock or something and shut it off. And I didn't know this. And I ended up waking up and I was like, oh, okay. What time is it? It was literally the exact time that my alarm goes off. And I was like, whoa, clearly my body's trying to tell me something. Okay, it's time to wake up now. Yes.
Yes,
you can adjust. It is possible. And I don't know about your house, but my house is peaceful. I get up at 5:30 now, which is a little scary, but it's wonderful. So yes, you can totally do it.
If I got up at that time, it'd probably be pretty quiet because my husband is already gone for work by 5:15.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
the kids don't get up till like 7:30. So yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I've got to decide if it's something I really want.
Exactly. Well, you have to make it a priority, right?
Yes.
Like that's how we get anything done. You put it higher up on your priority list and then you give it your attention. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then you do have that dedicated time, whether you want to do a workout or a meditation or just like a power hour or power hours.
yes, exactly.
Yes. Well, I like the theory of that, but I typically get up at like 8 on non-school days.
That's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't want to, impress that morning routine on everyone, but if you're finding like you don't have the time in the day or things get past you or whatnot, like if you make the time in the morning, then it's done. Like I usually add a little bit of exercise in there. I meditate now, which is a concept that was foreign to me before. So when I can go and do those things in the morning, then like that sets my tone for the rest of the day. And I'm like, I guess more on my game than if I roll out of bed from screaming children, which was the routine for a while. And it's a little like, you don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly. And look, for me, I don't have a corporate job anymore. So I take the kids to school and then my time from like 8:45 until like 10 is like the time that I've been using for like the me time. So that's been really productive for me. But now I'm getting busier and busier in my business. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to start getting out of bed.
Well, not if you don't want to.
I know. I haven't decided if I really, really want to or not.
Well, it is good. I can tell you from like being on the other side, it is pretty good.
I would like to be able to say I'm a morning person, because saying that you're not, I just feel like sounds so like low vibe, if that makes sense.
Some people like to work at night. I also like to work at night, although doing both does not pan out.
No, you can't do
long
both.
term. Not really. No.
Yeah, that'll get you right on the fast track to burnout, burning the candle at both ends. Yeah.
Yes, which is not where you want to be.
Certainly not. Well, awesome. So you have a really awesome freebie for everybody. It's called 10x your confidence. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I kind of tailored this for women who are either just getting started or have been in their business a little while, but they're not really kind of stepping into their own power and like showing up like the boss that they know they want to be. So really, I truly believe that you can show up with more confidence, and you don't have to have all those checks in the box to say, well, I'll be more confident once I sign my first client or my 10th client, or when I get that podcast interview, or when I, like name your thing, right? And you don't have to wait for that point to say and feel like start to actually feel confident. So there's a couple of strategies that I've put in place that I've laid out as to how you can go and put in a daily practice to build your confidence. Because when you show up like a boss, when you are, speaking with passion and really like showing up the way you want to be showing up in your business, people see that, your clients see that, and they can feel that difference. It's almost like a dog being able to smell fear. Like clients can smell if you're not in it, if you're not like feeling confident. So I find that piece is so critical to be able to help you grow your confidence. And that is what's going to go and attract more of your ideal clients to you.
Yeah. And I used to tell myself like that exact same thing, like how would the next level Amie show up? Because I would find myself like filtering or like dimming down my message, like, ooh, and then I'd be like, well, if I was already a 6 or 7 figure earner, would I actually go out and say this? Because it's really on my mind. It's really in my heart. And I'm like, yeah, that's how, next level Amie would show up. So I just started showing up and saying the things, and it did really make a difference. Like, I'm sure some people probably didn't love it, and some people probably unfollowed me or whatever. I didn't notice if they did. Like,
that's
and that's
all
just
right.
it. Unless it's like, your sibling or your parent or your, whatever, your, actual best friend, you're not probably going to notice anyway. So we get ourselves so worked up about, oh, what if somebody unfollows me? What if somebody doesn't like that this is what I believe in? Or what if somebody thinks that because I like woo-woo things that now I'm practicing witchcraft, voodoo, and, we get all the, we make up all these crazy things in our heads, right? And typically it's like, okay, yes, it's okay if some people follow you because they're just actually making room for new people.
Very true. I like that perspective.
Well, I look at it like this, like Facebook only allows you to have so many friends. Your email list, you have to pay for, based on how many people you have. So why pay for somebody that doesn't want to be there anyways? Like, let them go.
That is a very good point. I like that.
Yeah, that's how I kind of got to the point of like, because at first when I very, very, very first started, I'm like, maybe I only had like 200 or 300 people on my list. I was like, oh no, somebody unsubscribed. Now I'm at like, 299 instead of 300, and so I had to do a lot of work on that, on those vanity matrix and just be like, oh, well, once I get to 500, then I have to pay more. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I don't want them there if they're hogging up the space for somebody who's actually an ideal dream client.
Oh, that's so, so true. I love that. And actually, that reminds me when I was first starting growing my list, I had the setting set to like send me notifications when someone would subscribe, when someone would unsubscribe, and this and that. And so when I did a pivot in my business, I was getting a lot of people unsubscribing because like it was very different, the content that I was putting out. So logically, this makes sense, right? Like
right.
The people who followed me originally may not want or be interested in like this new thing that I'm working on. And logically in my head, I'm like, this is fine. That's okay. No problem. But I realized like I kept getting the pings and the notifications that like people were unsubscribing. And I'm like, all right, this is not helping me. So I just shut off those notifications because I'm like, it doesn't matter. And, people can unsubscribe and that's fine. And like you said, it just makes space for more people that are your ideal clients that do need to hear your message. Because there's so many people out there who want to listen to you and really will thrive off of how you say something. Even if it's been said a million times, like how you say it or how I say it's going to be different, obviously. Yeah. So like you got to find that person that really you connect with and not care about the rest.
Right. Well, and that's just it is, it's like, it's not really proprietary. Like a funnel is a funnel. There's, a tripwire is a tripwire, but the way you teach is going to be different than the way I teach about, a funnel and kind of our theories and concepts and colors and the way we like to see things laid out. All that's different. So it's, it is exactly that, somebody will learn something different from you versus learning, basically the same thing from me, just based on their connection with us, the frequency of our vibe matching up with theirs, like all those things.
So true.
Awesome. Well, before we hop off here, I want to make sure that everybody can find you. So tell us where we can find you in all the places.
Yes. So I hang out on Instagram and Facebook. So you can find me at Carina Groombridge Coaching. And that's where I hang out. So come on over, come say hi. We'd love to connect with all sorts of new ladies.
Yes. And you do live videos quite frequently as well on Facebook, yeah?
I do. And if anybody wants to check out another interview with Amie that I did on Mom Boss Life, then come on and join us over on my Facebook page. So that is super fun. I do those every week and have a new mom boss on and kind of like go behind the curtains, see what's up in their business, how they run, what their struggles are, much like this kind of a conversation, but live over on Facebook. So everybody can see my, pretty face.
Yes. Well, and there's something to be said about live video too. Like for those of you,
it's fun.
You guys are all listening, but Carina and I are looking at each other. So, it just makes our conversation go a bit smoother. And I don't know, I can't speak for every podcaster, but I know a lot of podcasters do like to, have the video going so that they really feel that connection. And it just makes the flow of the interview go so much smoother, I think.
I totally agree. It's just fun to go and see the people that you're talking to. I mean, one of the things that I had such a hard time with when I first started doing Facebook Lives was I couldn't see anybody. Like I was talking to this black little dot or looking at my face, which is kind of like, all right, this is weird.
Right.
Like, you need to get used to it. So I love the live aspect because you get to sit there and actually look at the person you're talking to. And, it's a different level, I find.
Awesome. Well, you guys, please be sure to take full advantage of this incredible freebie and be sure that you hop over on social and find Carina and give her some love and some follows and soak up all of her knowledge. And thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been so much fun.
Amie, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Talk soon.